All right, I am so excited that I've just figured out how to add texture to my bowl rims with a MKM roller texture thingy. I'm so happy. Let's do it. Okay. You know, everything is just about the steps and stages. It's just like, when do you do what do you have to tweak between, you know, this and what you normally do? What has to be different? Where's the sponge? It's an important one. Okay, so start off just like usual. Centering. Dropping the hole. Opening up. Compressing. And a spiral. First pull, pretty much the same. Leaving the rim a little thicker than usual. Second pull. This one's different because I'm not really going to touch the rim. I'm going to lay it out partway. And I'm just going to check the shape of my bowl, make sure it's wide enough. I think this will be fine. Okay. Then, let's see, I'm on the fence about whether or not it's necessary to do this step of just using a rib to clean that rim up. And then, the roller. Okay, I gotta hold it well in my hand. First, I have to wet down the underside of this rim. So I'm just gonna let that water go on the rim, just on my finger, and it's pretty cool. It doesn't go on mostly on the pot, it mostly goes on the rim. So I'm not unnecessarily wetting my pot down. And then I'm just gonna firmly hold the underside of the rim and until I get back to where I started. And this one, it kind of left a little bit of a blank area, so I think I need to maybe use a different part of my finger or maybe even a tool underneath, which I can't really imagine, but now I'm gonna clean up the inside with a rib. Oh, actually, first the next thing to really do is to do the last shaping pull with my fingers. It's not really a pull, it's just do the shaping with my fingers. And then this guy. And then water out. And then the rim. I'm just going to grab onto it very, very gently and lay it out. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's close. Close is good, because I was nowhere near close before I really took the time to think about that today. Of how am I going to get that on? I think I've tried it a couple times before with not a lot of thinking. I think I've thought without much thinking. Time to think about that today. Hi, I'm going to show you how I get this look out of a clay that in its raw phase looks like this. So you can see, I hope, see the difference. So first I've got some iron oxide wash. That's just literally just a spoonful of iron oxide mixed with some water in a little bowl with a dedicated brush. And I'm just going to brush it on. It's nice if it's not too thick, like if it's not super saturated.
Like I can already see a little bit of the variation through it. It's not like a thick, solid pool. That would just give me more work taking it off. Now, also I have to say this is a brand new process, so I'm not positive that this is the best way, and I'm sure over the years I will come up with better ways. But for now, this is what I'm doing. So then I'll just take a sponge, a wet sponge, and wipe it back. So this iron oxide happens to interact with this clay body in this way that makes it have this like beautiful kind of like weathered, leathery look. This clay is called Walnut from Clay Art Center. And I just love what the iron oxide does to it. And at the end, I'll put some at on the bottom too. I could do it right now since I've got the iron oxide in my hands. This is one of those things is like, let's figure out the best. Let's figure out the best way. So by doing this, it also gives the foot that same look. Instead of being that kind of more dry brown toast look, now it's gonna also have that leathery look here. All right, so my next step is to wax over the parts that I don't want to be, you know, I have to create a line for the glaze. So I will create a line here. And what I'm trying to do here is keep the wax on the pot and off the foot so I can turn this over. There we go. So I can turn it over without getting wax on my banding wheel. So here we go. And I have to do this one going in both directions because of having texture. So I just support my arm here. And cut my lines in. That's a painting term, like for corners and edges. Cutting in. And I'm doing the whole rims on these pots. And then, like I said, I have to go backwards. Otherwise, there will be all these little nooks and crannies that trap the glaze, and it'll be a bear to get it out. I'll go one more time slowly this way just to get coverage. Okay, then I have to let that dry. Okay, and then once it's dry, I'm going to glaze the inside. Pour it out. Hold on. Okay, and then I'll glaze the outside. Let's see if I can get you a good shot of that. Straight down. Come on, baby. And straight out. Okay, that's drying a little slowly. Uh-oh. Come on, dry, dry, dry. Drying slowly means it's mixed a little too thick, which could mean it's gonna run. Maybe we'll thin it out a little bit. I'm gonna say hopefully it's drying slowly because the pot was wet on the inside. You know, I mean, the walls of the pot were wet from being glazed on the inside. So I'm hoping that it's not actually mixed too thick. It's just having a hard time absorbing it because the clay body is wet, because these are pretty thin bowls and the walls get saturated pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm not seeing any cracking, so I think it's fine. Let's say it's fine. There is a little bit of cracking of the glaze on the inside, which means it did get a little bit on the thick side on the inside. And what I'm gonna do for that, let's see if I can show you, is just manually rub the cracks. I just rub them in. And that usually is all that it takes for this glaze to not crawl. So in general, if I see those cracks appearing, I just rub them right out. I am just now glazing all of these bowls that I made with these textured rims, and I'm just gonna do a variety, all my glazes, and see how it looks.